May 14, 1955, Linwood, California gets Vader bombed. Welcome to Wrestling Through the Ages. Leon White, better known as Vader, was a nationally ranked center who played offensive line for the University of Colorado, where he was named a second-team All-American at guard by United Press International for the Buffaloes in 1977. He was drafted to the LA Rams in 1978, where he was sidelined due to a knee injury, but still got an NFC Championship Super Bowl ring. In 1985, Brad Rheingans took Leon under his wing, and after a couple months of training, he started wrestling in the American Wrestling Association under the ring name Baby Bull, which eventually changed into Bull Power. He was booked in a championship bout against Stan Hansen, where he was defeated. In 1986, Leon flew to Germany and competed for Otto Vahn's CWA, Catch Wrestling Association. March 2nd, 1987, Leon pinned Otto Vahn's in Denver, Colorado, winning his first CWA Heavyweight Championship, putting an end to Otto's 9-year reign. During the summer of 1987, Leon White signed with Giant Baba's AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling, which Baba would actually trade over Leon White's contract over to rival company NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he would start wrestling under the name Big Van Vader. Built up as an unstoppable beast and part of the Takeshi Puroresu Gundam stable, he would debut against NJPW alumni Antonio Inoki, where he would quickly defeat him, resulting in the infamous Sumo Hall Riot, which would ban New Japan Pro Wrestling from the venue until February 22, 1989. He would tag alongside Masa Saito during most of 1988 and lost a championship match against Tatsumi Fujinami for the IWGP title on May 8, 1988. He would return to the CWA and win the championship again in 1989, defeating Vahn's in Vienna, Austria. Leon would also make several appearances in Universal Wrestling Association, also known as Lucha Libre Internacional. Big Van Vader pinned El Canek in November of '89 to win the UWA World Heavyweight Championship. Vader would win the IWGP title again against Riki Choshu on August 10 at Sumo Hall, and also retained the championship against Bam Bam Bigelow on September 20 at Bloody Fight Series Super Power Battle in Osaka. On February 10, 1990, Vader would face off against Stan the Man Hansen at the Super Fight Show in the Tokyo Dome. During the bout, Stan threw a clothesline which struck Vader's face, resulting in his eye popping out. Vader took off his mask and pushed his eye back in its socket, resulting in Vader's first NJPW draw. Vader required a metal plate to be installed behind his eye socket from the damage done. WCW had their eye on Vader and started negotiating with NJPW for several dates in 1990. Vader would make his first WCW appearance at the Great American Bash, defeating Tom Zenk. He would appear 2 more times on WCW TV. The year 1991 was Vader's best year to date. He was booked in many 6-man tag bouts, for they were the rage during the early 90s. He won the IWGP Championship yet again, besting longtime rival Tatsumi Fujinami. Otto retired in 1991, leaving the CWA Championship vacant. Leon won his 3rd CWA Championship, pinning Rambo in Graz, Austria. He was featured in the Super Heavy 2 card, 20th Anniversary, and the Fighting Connection Ultra High and Mighty Declaration 2, as well as the very popular Summer Crush, and wrestled 13 days in a row. He would bring 1991 to a close, being involved in the famous G1 Climax at Tokyo Dome, wrestling 5 days in a row, tagging with fellow Gaijin stars such as Scott "The Flash" Norton and Crusher Bam Bam Bigelow. Upon his return to the States, Ted Turner's WCW would start featuring the big man in its last 2 pay-per-views of the year. Halloween Havoc in the hilarious Chambers of Horrors, honestly, go check this one out, as well as Starcade's Battle Bowl. 1992 saw Vader being shoved into the WCW spotlight, resulting in less NJPW bookings, although he did win the IWJP Tag Team Championships with tag partner Bam Bam Bigelow, defeating Hori Haas and Kaiji Muto at NJPW Explosion Tour on May 1st. Vader injured his knee in a singles match against Kaiji Muto and dropped the championship belts to the Steiner brothers at Budokan Hall on June 26. Upon his return to WCW, Vader had a championship match at that year's Great American Bash and won the WCW World Heavyweight title, defeating fan favorite Sting. He would go on to retire Nikita Koloff, defeating him at October's Halloween Havoc. Vader would re-injure his knee and drop the belt to Ron Simmons, making him the first African-American heavyweight champion. Ron would then lose the belt to Sting, and Vader would then defeat Sting for the WCW Championship belt 6 days later, making him a 2-time WCW champion in under 1 year. Vader wrestled 20 bouts during the year of 1992 in World Championship Wrestling. 1993 would see Vader and Harley Race Castle of Fear strap match at Super Brawl 3. He would then drop the belt to the British Bulldog at Slamboree 93, and then regain the championship on August 18 version of Clash of the Champions. He had a brutal match against Cactus Jack at Halloween Havoc 1993, resulting in Cactus Jack injuring his lower back due to a powerbomb on the concrete floor. He lost the WCW title to Flair on November 10, 1993, and then lost it again to Flair on December 27 at Starrcade. 1994 saw Vader join the WCW Germany Battle Stars Tour and the Hulkamania Tour. He worked with Sting, Flair, Cactus Jack. This would be the tour where Mick Foley would have his right ear ripped right off. Ricky Steamboat, the Guardian Angel, and then he finished that year off with winning the WCW United States title against Jim Duggan. 1995 was supposed to be a fantastic year for the big man, being put in a storyline against the one and only Hulk Hogan. February 19, Super Brawl 5. Hogan drops the leg on Vader. Vader kicks out at 1. This never happens. What a moment. It made the big man seem unstoppable. Vader lost to Hogan on May 21st at Slamboree, and also again at Bash at the Beach. Vader got in a backstage fight against Paul Orndorff in August and was released from WCW. Vader wrestled a total amount of 5 times in 1995, with each bout being specifically on pay-per-view. At this point, he was a made man. 1996 saw Vader return to the land of the rising sun for a singles exhibition match on the Wrestling World 96 pay-per-view against the man who gave him his start in Japan almost 10 years ago, Antonio Inoki. Vader lost to Inoki on January 4th, 1996 at the Tokyo Dome. I will try to make this brief because Vader's WWF tenure was televised and well documented. Most of us know how Vince McMahon books. We also know the type of screenwriters he hires to make angles and storylines for the talent in WWF. That being said, Vader was lost with the rest of the talent in the mid-90s. He was not booked as strong as he could or at the fullest potential, and would wrestle upward to 50 times a year, causing a lot of impact to his body compared to the 12 to 20 matches a year he was used to. He entered a storyline with Shawn Michaels that would lead to a match at SummerSlam North. Shawn found Vader stiff, rough, and basically told Vader he could get him fired whenever he wanted. So they put him in an angle facing The Undertaker, which would eventually lead to an angle with Undertaker's newly found brother, Kane, which Vader put over time and time again. Vader did his infamous Vader time is over promo. He got moved over to jobber status, which means losing to other talent and putting them over, and had his final match on a Sunday Night Heat against Edge, where he lost. From 1996 to May of 1998, Vader wrestled roughly about 160 matches for the WWF, and I'd failed to see what they were trying to accomplish with him, seeing he only ever won the championship once against Bret the Hitman Hart on April 23rd, and he won it due to a disqualification, not really showcasing the big man's dominance. I can assure you we were all thrilled when he returned to Japan in 1998, this time wrestling 2 shows for All Japan Pro Wrestling at Budokan Hall on May 1st, 1998 and December 5th of 1998. Vader would return to compete out east against legends like Mitsuharu Misawa, Kenta Kobashi, Gary Albright, Jun Akiyama, as well as compete in the tag team division. He would go on to win the AJPW Triple Crown title 3 more times and win the AJPW tag titles with Dr. Death Steve Williams once. Vader had a couple of sporadic appearances in his later years until his passing on June 18, 2018. Many wrestlers visited Leon in the hospital, among them longtime best friend Sting. Thanks for checking out this week's Wrestling Through the Ages. I'll see you next Friday.